Hey y'all, starting in a few weeks, I'll be living on different cruise ships for the next year. I am 53 and I am a solo traveler. I'll be living on these cruise ships for an average budget of about $2,000 a month, and so many people have asked me how did I get these cruises for such a discount. So that's what this video is about. So I'm going to walk you through how I get my solo cruises for an average of $2,000 a month and how I'll be living on them for about a year. Hey y'all, if you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. I'm Linnell. I'm a retired solo traveler in search of paradise on a budget. I grew up in poverty and decided not to stay there. If you think you don't have enough money to live in paradise, this channel is for you. Subscribe for a better way of life and a pathway from poverty to paradise. There are several ways to live on the high seas for a year. You can take a world cruise, either the whole year or different segments of the year, and those can cost anywhere between $100,000 and $300,000 per year. You can also follow in the footsteps of Super Mario and other cruisers like him who build up brand loyalty by sailing with one cruise line, and then they hop from ship to ship based on the seasons of the year. Doing it this way can cut your costs in half, so the cruises are only about $80,000 to $100,000 a year.
I cruise solo in an inside cabin for 365 days. So the total cost, including fare, tax, and tips, $82,000. So the balcony cost would be $103,000.
I love watching stories about Super Mario, but my bank account is not set up that way. I found a way to sail for $24,000 a year with an average cost of $2,000 per month. This unusual way to vacation full-time fell into my lap as I had absolutely no plans to retire on cruise ships, and spending $80,000 or more a year is way beyond my budget. I'm a regular person who grew up in poverty, and I only retired early at the age of 53 because my job was super toxic and I had to leave. If I would have stayed another week or two, I probably would not be alive today to make these videos. My health was in serious jeopardy, but that's a story for another day. So this is how it all started. I came across some YouTube videos from Rashida Dow, which led me to discover a movement called Blaxit. Black women were exiting the United States to escape wage slavery and enjoy a better way of life. Rashida and Stephanie Perry co-founded a virtual training called Exodus Summit. I attended their 2022 Exodus Summit that put emphasis on unique ways that Black women are funding their lifestyles living abroad in places that I consider to be paradise. Once I had enough of my old life with my toxic job and toxic relationships and I decided to retire, all of a sudden casino deals started coming to me and I was able to book cruises for about $800 a month. I decided this would be a great way for me to transition my Blaxit in an affordable way and be able to sample life in other countries. In a nutshell, the answer to how I'm able to live on different cruise ships for an average of $2,000 a month is casino deals. Now, warning, if you have a gambling problem, if you don't use money wisely, if you're in debt, or you have any other financial issues, then you should click off this video right now. Because the only way I was able to get these cruise ship deals at such a low rate was because I played in the casino on a cruise ship. I treat casinos like adult arcades. Back in the 80s when I was a teenager, we used to go to the arcade to play Pac-Man and Frogger and other video games with the expectation of getting to the next levels and bonus rounds, but not with the expectation of getting any kind of money back. It was just pure fun. And that's how I treat casinos. Whenever I go to a casino, whether it's on land or on a cruise, I treat it just like an adult arcade. I always have a budget, and once that amount is gone, win, lose, or draw, I leave. There's no going over budget, there's no spending rent money, there's no going to the ATM machine to get more cash out. So again, if you have a problem with gambling, this strategy is not going to work for you. If you find my strategy works for you, please do so responsibly. The first casino deals I received were from Carnival after I sailed on Carnival Celebration. I didn't get them right away. I wasn't even aware that I was even getting them. I went on a cruise in May 2023 with my beautiful family, my kids and my grandkids, and we all had a great time. After dinners and shows and putting the grandkids to bed, I went to the casino every night with a budget of $100 per day. The machines were loose and I had many bonuses, so my wins and losses were ups and downs for hours every night. I lost sometimes, but a few times I won what I would consider big. I would win $100 here, $200 there. I had a couple of bigger wins. I think one was like $800, another one was around $2,000. I know it probably sounds weird for me to say this, but I don't play to win. I play to have fun. By the end of the cruise, I still had my own money, plus I was up by $1,200. It was not my intention to win. As I said before, I go to play and have fun. But of course, when I do win, it does feel better. When I got home, I started getting emails and postcards from Carnival's Players Club. I never really read them as I wasn't even planning to go on another cruise for a while, so I kind of saw them. If they came in the mail, I read them, I threw them in the garbage. If I saw the emails, I just deleted them and I went on with my life. Fast forward to October 2023. At this point, I had a lot of stress from my job and my personal life. I went on an 8-day cruise on Royal Caribbean's Mariner of the Seas by myself, and it went to Bermuda, which was on my bucket list. That cruise was very expensive. I'm not going to even tell you how much I paid for it, but it was just what I needed, and it was my introduction to solo cruising. As an introvert with a love of cruising, it was one of the best experiences I've ever had. Once again, on this cruise, I played in the casino every evening with a $100 per day budget. I met a couple ladies who said they were going to play just long enough to get a free cruise. I had never heard of people getting a free cruise before, and I asked them about it. They basically explained to me that they pick a couple of older style machines that have bonus rounds, and they just slowly play, whether it be 40 cents, 80 cents, 50 cents, sometimes $1. And they said on these types of machines, the machines will usually just continue to let you win some, lose some, win some, lose some. But in doing so, you rack up points with the casino. Once you get to a certain point level, you get a free cruise. I was definitely intrigued, and I followed their lead, and I met them in the casino practically every night. It worked. On the last night of the cruise, I hit the lowest tier required to get a free cruise, which was 2,500 points. The next morning, this certificate was slipped up under my door. I was entitled to a free cruise for 2, and there were many different dates and itineraries that I could choose from. I didn't pick my cruise until a few days after I got off the ship. I ended up choosing a 4-night cruise on Allure of the Seas with a balcony room. I was only required to pay the port fees and taxes for me and a companion, which ended up being $103 each. My sister joined me on that cruise. Soon after we booked it, I received this flyer in the mail, which allowed us to extend that 4-day cruise for another 3 days, making it a total of 7 days on the same ship. For the 3-day cruise, we had to pay $104 each in port fees and taxes, so that came out to a total of $207 each. $207 for 7 days ended up being about $30 per day. Be sure to subscribe, as I will have another video coming up regarding how easy it is to transfer. I started receiving more offers in my emails and flyers in the mailbox from both Carnival and Royal Caribbean. As of today, I've been able to book 22 free cruises. There is a difference in the casino deals that I get with each cruise line. With Royal Caribbean, they only require me to pay the port fees and taxes for each cruise. There are no additional expenses unless I choose to add on specialty dining, spa treatments, excursions, and extras like that, which I normally don't do. Sometimes they also give me free plays like this one for $75. I'm not going to include those credits in my calculations later on because those can only be used in the casino, and of course it's not a guarantee that I will win any money back from using the free plays. With Carnival, now they require a $100 cruise fare per person, so that's different from Royal, because Royal Caribbean does not require that. Since all of my cruises are double occupancy, they require me to pay $200 for the cruise fare on each sailing, plus the port fees and taxes. So receiving a $200 onboard credit. Now, these credits, unlike the free plays, I do include these credits in my calculations because I can use these to offset expenses like gratuities and laundry and other things that I will have in my budget anyway. Since I'm only paying port fees and taxes, the average total cost for these cruises is about $26 a day, which is about $800 a month for accommodations, which of course on a cruise, that includes utilities, the cable TV that they provide, any food, any snacks, all the entertainment on the ship, all the activities that are on the ship, access to the gym, the pools, the hot tubs, and so much more. But the main perk that I love are the trips to the different ports, which of course fits in my goal to find paradise on a budget. Each of the free cruises that I get on Carnival and Royal Caribbean also includes free drinks while we're in the casino for me and whoever's traveling with me. So I can get any free alcohol, free sodas, any free drinks like that they serve in the casino, those are included in my free trip. But I'm a water drinker, so I usually end up getting just the free bottles of water. Occasionally I might grab some alcohol or soda here and there, but for the most part I just get the bottled waters. Between the time of making this video and July of this year, which is when my year of full-time traveling starts, I have a few other cruises. When I go over the calculations, I'm going to do a 6-month calculation to make the math easier. But I just want to point out that I do have a few other cruises. I'll be on Carnival Vista with my sisters who got a free cruise while mine is a discounted cruise. So you can see here, they paid $200 for their cruise fare and then they'll get $200 in onboard credits back. They also paid $119 each for the taxes and port fees and $16 a day for gratuities. I don't prepay my gratuities because, one, as a former accountant, I don't believe in giving free loans to corporations, and two, I plan to use my onboard credits towards the gratuities, so I wait until they add them to my bill during the cruise, and then I pay them at the end if there's any balance left after the onboard credit. After my cruise with my sisters in May, I'll be going on 2 back-to-back free cruises in June. These 2 free cruises cost me $268 for the port fees and taxes, and that covers 11 days, which is about $24 per day. Once you start receiving your free offers, you're going to get some flyers like these that came in the mail, so be on the lookout for your offers. These flyers will come in the mail as well as the email. Most of the time I see them in the email first and then I'll see them in the mail. I continue to get these flyers for free cruise offers about twice a month now. I recently also learned that there is a website that Royal Caribbean has where you can go on there and see all of the offers that you have that's still outstanding that you're able to use. I booked up all the free cruises that I could for 2024 and the beginning of 2025. Right now I'm still getting offers for mostly 2024, some 2025. So I'm getting so many free cruise offers, I can't even use them all. But of course, I'm going to be looking out for the new ones that come in so I can continue to cruise on a budget for as long as possible. As I mentioned, my year of full-time cruising starts in July. From the 6-month period of July to December of this year, I have 19 free cruises with an average cost of $26 per day, which is about $780 per month. I also have 4 cruises that are not free. 3 of these cruises are holiday cruises. I haven't received any free deals for the holiday cruises, but all 3 of these holiday cruises were discounted from the regular price. But when going over the total cost of all the cruises, I'm not going to discuss gratuities too much in detail because every person has their own philosophy about how much they should increase or decrease the gratuities or whether they should even give tips at all. I've been on cruises where other people in my parties have paid nothing for gratuities. I've been on cruises where other people in my party paid the base pay and then gave extra tips. How much you give is a personal decision. You do you. For me, I include the base gratuities in my budget. For Carnival, the current rate is $16 per person per day, and for Royal Caribbean, the current rate is $18 per person per day. So for me, I budget $17 per day. My grand total for all 23 cruises during this 6 months is 148 nights at $11,300, which comes out to an average of about $2,000 per month. When I shared this plan with some of my peers, one of the questions that came up often is, well, what about your other expenses? Of course, these are going to be different from person to person. For example, from July to December, when I'm taking these cruises, there's a total of 180 days, of which I'll be cruising for 148 of them. For the other 32, I'll be using credit card points and other rewards to pay for free and reduced hotels and flights. There are other expenses such as my laundry, my cell phone, if I get Wi-Fi, insurances like health and travel. All of those are going to depend on the individual. I do plan on making another video to show how I get free hotels and free flights and hotels and flights at a discounted rate. So make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss those upcoming videos.